Apple, Facebook, and Google report earnings, and GrubHub falls hard. This is the Silver Reports Weekly Review, where we take a look at all of the headlines that move the markets during the week. On Monday, the markets closed up to kick off another busy earnings week. The S&P reached a record high, and the Dow pushed past the 27,000 level of resistance. The Dow closed up 132 points, the S&P closed up 16 points, and the Nasdaq closed up 82 points. In other news, the EU agreed to extend the Brexit deadline until January 31st. Spotify helped push the markets up by reporting a revenue beat of 65 euro cents and a revenue beat by 10 million euro. Alphabet Google missed EPS estimates by $2.34, but beat revenue estimates by $330 million. AT&T beat EPS estimates by 2 cents, but missed on revenue by $490 million. T-Mobile also reported a revenue miss by $270 million and an EPS beat by 18 cents. Beyond Meat reported a 3 cents EPS beat and a revenue beat by $8 million. The company made a profit, but the stock still sold off in after-hours trading. And Walgreens reported an EPS beat by 2 cents and a revenue beat by $70 million. On Tuesday, the markets were a bit jittery before the Fed announcement. The Dow closed down 19 points, the S&P closed down 2 points, and the Nasdaq closed down 49 points. Tuesday was another big day for earnings. AMD reported a revenue miss by $10 million and an EPS of 18 cents. Shopify reported an EPS miss, but a revenue beat by $6.7 million. General Motors reported an EPS beat by 34 cents and a revenue beat by $260 million. Pfizer beat EPS estimates by 13 cents and revenue by $310 million. Electronic Arts beat EPS estimates by 89 cents and revenue by $30 million. Mastercard beat EPS estimates by 14 cents and revenue estimates by $40 million. Mattel jumped 20% in after-hours trading. The company reported a revenue beat of $40 million and an EPS beat by 7 cents. And GrubHub dropped 43% following its earnings release. The company reported an EPS miss of a penny and a revenue miss of $7.4 million. On Wednesday, the Dow closed up 115 points, the S&P closed up 9 points, and the Nasdaq closed up 27 points. The markets were up following a third straight interest rate cut from the Fed. The Fed cut rates by 1/4 percentage point. Another catalyst for the bull market on Wednesday was GE's earnings. GE started the day by reporting an EPS beat by 3 cents and a revenue beat by $460 million. Investors who were expecting the worst from GE got a pleasant surprise. Apple also reported earnings and beat EPS estimates by 19 cents and revenue estimates by $1.1 billion. Facebook reported an EPS beat and a revenue beat by 24 cents and $300 million respectively. The stock jumped in after-hours trading. Starbucks reported an earnings per share of 70 cents, which was in line with analyst estimates, and a revenue beat by $70 million. Lyft reported a revenue beat by $40 million and an EPS beat by 32 cents. And Etsy's EPS of 12 cents was in line with analyst estimates, and the company beat revenue by $4 million. On Thursday, the Dow closed down 140 points, the S&P closed down 9 points, and the Nasdaq closed down 11 points. China's doubt that a long-term trade deal will be negotiated with Trump caused investors to hit the sell button. In earnings news, Celgene reported an EPS beat by 28 cents and a revenue beat by $130 million. Altria Group beat EPS estimates by 4 cents and beat revenue estimates by $70 million despite a $4.5 billion hit on Juul. Bristol Myers Squibb missed on EPS by 20 cents but beat revenue estimates by $120 million. Pinterest reported an EPS beat by 5 cents but missed on revenue by $2 million. And Kraft Heinz reported an EPS beat by 15 cents and a revenue miss by $50 million. On Friday, the markets got a boost from the jobs report, which revealed the economy added 128,000 jobs for the month, above the 85,000 expected. The Dow closed up 301 points, the S&P closed up 29 points, and the Nasdaq closed up 94 points. Overall, the Dow, S&P, and Nasdaq closed up on the week. In earnings news, Alibaba reported an EPS beat by 32 cents and a revenue beat by $180 million. Exxon Mobil reported an EPS beat by 2 cents but a revenue miss by $810 million. AbbVie beat estimates by 2 cents and $110 million. Chevron reported an EPS miss by 15 cents and a revenue miss by $1.5 billion. And Colgage-Palmolive reported an EPS beat by a penny but a revenue miss of $20 million. In crypto news, Bitcoin was on the move, closing the week out at $9,197. Ethereum was also on the move, closing the week out at $184.24. Litecoin also spiked up, closing the week out at $58.54, and Ripple stayed level at 29 cents. Crude oil was down on the week, closing out at $56.23 per barrel, but the commodity saw a big jump on Friday. A big winner for the week was Bygene Limited, BGNE, which increased 36% on the week after Amgen invested $2.7 billion in the company. A big loser for the week was GrubHub, GRUB, which lost 42% of its value following its earnings call. If you're in need of fresh investment ideas, check out our latest quarterly newsletter, The Silver Report, serious investment ideas for experienced investors looking for something different, and new investors who want to get their feet wet in the market. You can find it at SevilleReport.com. Also, a link to sign up for our weekend article in Focus is in the description below. And any headlines you want to read more about, the link to the full story is also in the description below. Thanks again for checking out the Silver Reports Market Review. This channel is dedicated to anyone who wants to start investing but doesn't know how or where to start. If you have any questions, ask in the comment section, like and subscribe, and may your next investment be your best investment. See you next week.